Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of my video cast. Let's reason together. Let's reason together. Now this is an unvarnished episode of my video cast. It doesn't have all of the pictures, the illustrations, the music, and the script and so forth, because I just want to get into it. Time is of the essence. Things are moving along. Prophecy is being fulfilled before our very eyes. And it is getting serious. It is going to be about the heart. Okay? It's going to be about the heart. You've got to get this. God, Lord, help us. Lord, help us. Because things are getting so serious. All right? Anyway, I want to share with you a brief exchange that I had with a couple of people on Facebook. Now, understand that when you're on any social platform, they can track you. I know it's spooky or it's intrusive, but this is the way it is. They track you, so they create this algorithm. So if you click on something, you comment, you like something, it sort of say, okay, we see that you're interested in this, and so something similar, some related item will come into your feed, into your timeline. So for me, I like to click on religious things of of a Christian perspective. And so what has come into my feed, more so than I've seen in the past, are these Christian groups. Unfortunately, most of these Christian groups are of the Christian nationalist variety. Now, Christian nationalism has nothing to do with Christianity. It has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do with his kingdom. Don't get bamboozled just because you hear the word Christian in it. It is just a ploy. It is all about power, and it is of Satan. It is not of God. So understand that. I know you say, oh, how can you speak that way? What makes you so sure? The Holy Spirit, God talking to us through his word. We can get this. So I'm on Facebook, and there was a group that caught my attention because it was in my feed, and it is called The American Vision right here. Now, it is a public group. That means anybody can take a look at it. Anybody can chime in. Remember, when you put something public, that means anybody can get to it. They can search it out and find out what it's all about. So I click on The American Vision. It says a biblical worldview ministry. And in the intro, it says, since 1978, American Vision has been equipping Christians to apply the Bible to every aspect of life in order to restore America to her biblical foundation. Now, if they had stopped at life, then, we're there. That's worthy. We are to apply the Bible to every aspect of our life. Scripture is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. We understand that. But the part about in order to restore America to her biblical foundation, that presumes that America has always been or had its start as a religious nation officially, or a Christian nation. That is not the case. That is false. Okay? And they are not, America is not a religious or Christian nation now. We are moving in that direction. And it is unconstitutional for us to move in that direction. And I would also say it is satanic for us to move in that direction. Oh, you're saying, wait a minute, that sounds blasphemous. I told you before. This is ingenious, people. It's ingenious what Satan is doing. Nonetheless, when you start talking about restoring America to its Christian roots and all of that, then you got to find a way to make people conform to a particular religion. Remember, this is a pluralistic nation. There are many people of different faiths. You got to get them all on board to comply with one religion. How will you do that? So when I go to the thread, I'm asking that question. So here I am. I said, which Christian denomination are we going to choose or agree upon as being the official one for the nation? Just curious. So this is a general question. It sat there for about an hour. So this woman, her name is Jody, she decides to chime in. So again, this is a public forum, and you can click on someone and find out what they're all about to some degree. So I decided to click on her, and look what I found. Look here. Trump, Trump, and more Trump. You might say, well, what's the problem? People can choose who they want as their leader or vote for who they want as president. You are correct. We live in a free country. You can vote for whoever you want. You can be of any party you want, Republican, Democrat, independent. You can be progressive, liberal, conservative. That's not the issue. Here's the issue. If you are identifying as Christian and you're talking about, this nation needs to get back to its morals, we need to get back to traditional family values, law and order, and all of these things, and you choose Trump as your leader, then we've got problems, because this is the most corrupt politician in my lifetime. He insults people all the time. He lies every time he speaks. He is a convicted felon who is running for the highest office in the land. And he's leading out in the polls. This nation is sick. It is very, very sick. I don't understand. And so if you are saying you are a Christian and you are choosing Trump, then you reek of hypocrisy. Okay? You reek. That means you smell. See, we're to be witnesses. Do you really think that you're drawing people to Christ when you make this kind of connection with Trump? You're not. You're drawing people to a movement, to a cult, but you're not drawing them to Christ. Listen, I live out here in the Northwest, and there's a heavy concentration of people who are a-religious. They're atheists, they're agnostics. They couldn't care less about God and all that stuff. And I disagree with them on a lot of issues. I'm not on board with a lot of stuff that they believe in. I wasn't raised that way. Nonetheless, they can still see and they can smell. And when you reek of hypocrisy, they smell that. That's what they smell. They don't smell the fragrance of Christ. They smell hypocrisy. Now, you might be saying, oh, Henry, you're being judgmental. No. This is their perspective. I work around these people nearly every day. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me go on. So, Jody, her response: Bible-based Christianity only, no denominations. God did not create division with denominations. Man did that. Factually, she's correct. But it doesn't answer my question. I want to know how you bring these people together. How do you bring all of these denominations together? And she's telling me, oh, yes, this is man-made. Okay, I get that. All right. So I respond. I think there are about 20,000 Christian denominations in the United States alone. And every denomination thinks they're the right denomination. Actually, I'm off. There are more like 30,000 Christian denominations. Again, how do you bring all of these people on board on the same page? Then she responds. She says, Henry, listen to this sermon. It explains very clearly how other religions came to be. I'm not interested in how other religions came to be. I get that. What I want to know is how you bring all of these religions together. Now, I did click on it, and it turned out to be Mark Driscoll. He used to have a church out here. Maybe he has a church again. There was a scandal. Anyway, the title of his sermon was Hamas and the End Times. Is Christ about to return? I'm just like, what does this have to do with different religions and how they came to be? Maybe it was somewhere in the middle of his sermon. I don't know. I wasn't going to listen to the whole sermon just to find that out. So when I said I will take a listen, I was just going to check out maybe a couple of minutes of it. And I said, however, knowing how other religions came to be wouldn't necessarily solve the problem of trying to have everyone on the same page. Think about it. If we have differences, and many of those differences might be very important to those who subscribe to those particular doctrines, even among the Christian faith, how could we possibly handle those of other faiths altogether, such as Jews, Hindus, and Muslims? For example, Those of the Jewish faith believe that the seventh day, Saturday, is the Sabbath and the day they are to attend church or the synagogue and worship God. Whether the Jewish people are right or wrong, and I wasn't saying that the Jewish people were wrong in this regard, I was just putting it out as a matter of discussion. What measures, now this is key, what measures would this nation need to take to have those of the Jewish faith to get on board with Sunday worship instead? So this is really interesting. Jody disappears. She vanishes. She didn't respond anymore. Now, maybe she was in over her head. Maybe she just didn't have an answer. Maybe she thought this guy is a bit too much, speaking of myself. So she's gone. And that's fine. People do that. But I purposely and intentionally put in the Jewish faith. I could have put in Jehovah's Witnesses. I could have put in Mormons. I could have put in Buddhists. I could have put in different, other religions. But I put in the Jewish faith intentionally because I knew that most of those who are in Christendom are sympathetic to the Jewish people. They are pro-Israel in general. They are pro-Israel to a fault. In their eyes, and if you were to press them on it, they would have a hard time coming up with the faults of any, of the Jewish people in general. But Israel can do no wrong. So they sympathize with them. And that, you can kind of do that, okay? But I knew that. So that's why I put her sort of in a box, because I'm saying, hey, the Jewish faith, the Jewish religion believes that Saturday is the Sabbath day. And I agree with them. I agree with the Jewish faith in that regard. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make them comply with Sunday worship? How would you do that? And see, now you're in a bind because you're sympathetic to the Jewish people. You don't want to offend them. But at the same time, if you're going to talk about one religion for the nation, you've got to pick a day. You've got to pick one religion. See, here's the problem. These people are not thinking it through. They don't even know what they're getting into. They don't even listen to their leaders. There are Christian nationalists who are out front, who are telling you specifically what they want to do, what they intend to do, and how they're going to do it. And yet, she can't answer. She just disappears. You see that? Anyway, there's more to come.